Despite Julien Falchero leading from start to finish in the Guildford GP, it still came as a bit of a surprise. Can we do the same again in Milan? Hey everyone, welcome to Season 1, Part 3 of Race to the Top. In today's episode, we are going to be running through the 31 days up to the Milan GP, and of course we'll do some qualifying as well. We do have a few areas that we need to look at before we properly get into the qualifying, because if you remember back from the previous episode in the race, Mawson had real difficulty with his part condition of his engine. It was really, really low, and I was worried that he wasn't even going to be able to finish the race. And his rear wing was quite bad as well. So we need to actually find out who's to blame for that. Is that Mawson? Is that me with my engine mode, moving it up and down all the time, or is that even his race engineer? So we'll have to have a quick look at that. Otherwise, look, it'll take 41 hours to fix the car. We'll worry about that later. Let's have a quick interview then with RTL. This was your first full race weekend in charge of a Formula 3 team. How do I feel? I feel pretty great. It was a pretty wonderful weekend, and that's it. That was the easiest interview I've ever done. We had two mistakes in the Grand Prix, and of course both of them were on Mawson's car, and they were the back right tyre. So we'll have to have a quick look at the pit crew before we progress too much further on. Let's do that now, in fact. So the back right, who was that? Kujama. Mika Matthias Kujama. He made two mistakes, and there you go, his mistake chance has gone up quite a lot because they are a little bit fatigued. So I might actually take him out. Oops, I'll take him out. Hang on, let's have a look. Let's see what we can do here. Maybe... yeah, what I'll do is I'll swap him out Perskinen, give him a bit of a break because he made a lot of mistakes in that last race. He made two mistakes, and that cost Mawson, I think, a point. I don't think he was going to get any much higher than 8th or 9th, but 10th was certainly within the realm of possibility. But those two mistakes really cost him. So let's keep going. So once the car repair is complete, we do have to start looking at fixing, improving the parts that we've already got on the car. So as you can see, our engine at the moment is 117 for both. Reliability, 80%. I think we can do a bit better than that. I think what we'll do is, because the Milan GP, we've got top speed is crucial, so we'll leave the performance staff on improving the engine for now, and we'll improve the reliability. Oops, so we'll take those two off, and we'll improve the reliability of the engine, and we'll bump it down to, let's say, 7 and 3, because once we get to that 130 mark, there's not really much more we can do because we don't want to be spending money. We want to save all this money. We've got £12 million there, as you can see. We're going to be really frugal this season. We're not going to spend a penny if we don't have to, because then we can spend it all on next year's car. So these are the parts that are essentially going to last us for the whole season, which, for those of you that were watching quite diligently in the first episode, you'll realise that I made a big stuff up because I brought in Magdalena Buller as my lead designer, and she's fantastic. She's going to be an amazing addition to this team next year because at the moment we don't want to be designing any new parts, and she's got amazing ability to design new parts. So she's sitting here doing nothing, costing a lot more money than our previous lead designer was, and she's not going to be doing anything. So that's eating away into our profit a little bit. So I'm an idiot, but we'll move on from that. So let's keep going. Car repair finished. Yep, all good. So the other thing as well that I didn't really mention, because I've been editing out, I will be editing out the practice sessions. In the first practice session in Guildford, I actually had Mawson and Fuoco. I thought give Falchero a break. And that proved to be a masterstroke because Fuoco set a perfect car for Falchero, and he set the 10th fastest lap time. Mawson set the 20th. He was the slowest in practice, Mawson, and that should have been sent alarm bells going in my brain that maybe Mawson's not cut out for this, but you live and you learn. So in the next one, being in Milan, Fuoco is of course Italian. He's going to be replacing Mawson in the practice. So let's see. So as you can see, our engine's not doing too badly there. It's up to 127. So what I might do now is I'm going to... What's something else? Deceleration. The brakes are crucial as well. So how about... Let's get some performance on the brakes as well, because that'd be great if we could do that. 17 days, and it's going to be another wet race. Ugh, I hate that. I truly hate that. So because we're not going to be designing any parts, I think it's crucial to understand what we can expect this season, because the first race was fantastic. Falchero led from start to finish. Mawson had a bad race, but he was still in the top 10 after qualifying, and save for a couple of mistakes on the pit stops, he could have been in the points himself. But I think you're going to start seeing us slipping back a little bit, because we're not going to be designing any new parts, so the other teams will be catching up and potentially overtaking us throughout the season. So that race win that we had in Guildford, that could be the only race win we get this season. I'm not expecting to maintain that level for the rest of the... there you go. I'm just trying to explain everything. We've got the second best car at the moment. The Prima Power team is... Look at that. It's what's that? A third better than us already. And the average is right behind. So we're not that far ahead. We've got the second best car, but for how long, we don't know. So let's go back and have a look at the improved parts, and let's see how our brakes are improving a little bit too. That's quite good. Engine, I'm happy with the engine. And we've got 88% reliability. I think what we'll do is let's start putting some reliability into the gearbox as well. And then we can keep going. 10 days to go then from the Milan GP. So this is our attack approach really for the Milan weekend. We're going to have Fuoco and Falchero in practice. Depending on the rain, I don't really know if we'll get much knowledge out of the practice. Because of the rain, I don't want to be... We won't be able to use softs. We won't be able to use the mediums, most likely. And so we'll have to look at maybe just trying to improve that race trim as much as we can in practice. And then we can see where we are in qualifying. But because of our weakness, because we're not... See, look, we're starting to slip already. We're now the fifth best car. We're not even... We were second only 2 weeks ago, and now we're down to fifth. So this is going to be a tough weekend. So that race win could be the only race win we have all season. But let's have a quick look at the upcoming race in Milan. It's a 63-lap race with the lap record being a 1:15.1, and Sunday showing a 40% chance of rain. In Guildford, it was only a 20% chance, and it rained basically the entire race. So that's a concern. I'm sick of rain. I hate rain. It's a high-speed circuit, so strong engines, strong brakes. That's to be expected. And the tyre compounds are the same as Guildford, actually, soft and the mediums. Telemetry centre, what have they got to say? They think we should invest in the telemetry centre. No, we're not going to do that. We don't have the money. Julien Falchero is the hot favourite for the race on Sunday. I don't think that's going to happen. We're not a very good car. Julien, if you're watching this, well done on the win, but you're not going to be winning this race. I hate to say it. Which actually, I should apologise to Julien, really, shouldn't I? Because at the start of the first episode, we had a quick look at the predictions. Mawson was predicted to come first, and Falchero was predicted to come 19th. That's not going to happen because Falchero is now first at the moment with 25 points because he won the last race. So, of course, we are part of the Global Motorsport Association, and we'll have our first vote in a couple of weeks. And I believe, what is it about? It's about the addition of Rio de Janeiro Track A to the GP. I'm not... we'll talk about that later. Who cares? We've got a bit of a dilemma here. We both know that Joey could present himself better when it comes to interacting with the press. Famous communication expert Brendan Stone has a slot available in his renowned How to Talk Right media training course. Should we sign Joey up for it? It's going to cost £1 million. No, I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do it, and I'll tell you exactly why. Although it would be beneficial, if we go and have a look at him, I think it's his marketability. That's costing us a bit in terms of sponsorship. So, yeah, look, it would improve his marketability, and that could possibly get us some better sponsors, but, we're tanking this year anyway. We've got him for 2 years. I'm not going to get rid of him. I don't want to break the contract, which is going to cost, £250,000. That's too much money. I don't want to waste that. Because if you have a look at Falchero, 75% marketability. He's really good. And then you got Fuoco as well, who is our reserve driver, and he's got 62% marketability. So at the end of next season, which is admittedly a long time, 20 months away at least, Mawson might not even be on the team anymore. So I'll worry about that later. So we'll decline that dilemma. And let's get into practice, and I'll see you for qualifying. So here we are then. We are in qualifying. Practice didn't go too badly. We managed to get our race trim up to the second level, and we even managed to get our intermediate tyres with a performance increase as well. So they may come in handy in this session, which is quite good. We actually had a dry sort of first half of practice, and then the rain just fell down. So I've managed to get Falchero's car right into the excellent. There you go, Joey Mawson as well. I was worried about that. I didn't know if we managed to do that, but we did, which is good. As you can see, the rain's expected to come down again after about 2 minutes. So do we go out early or not? I think we do. In the last qualifying in Guildford, I went out really late. I thought, we'll hold on. And that was a problem. We should have set a banker lap first. That's what we should have done. And instead we didn't. So that cost us. So we might do the same this time as they're going out on softs. I'm going to hold off really because the rain's coming down quite hard, as you can just see it there. It's just starting to come down now. So there are a few cars coming out already. Watch out for the Prima Power team with Gunther and Schumacher. They are the team to beat. This is their home race. Prima are an Italian team, and they're very good. They're a good team. They really, really well in practice. Falchero set the 4th fastest time. Fuoco didn't really get to set a lap because he was he came out on the intermediates. By the time I was ready for him to start setting laps, he was already on the intermediate. So he still was 17th or 18th or something like that. So we still beat a couple of people who were setting times on mediums earlier on in the session. So that's promising as well. But we'll send Falchero out on the intermediates. Let's get him setting a lap time, although the rain is starting to come down quite heavy. This could be a disaster, but let's see what he can do. And we'll leave Mawson for now. Because what I don't want to do is, because it looks like it's going to get really, really heavy and he's going to need the wet tyres. And I don't really want to risk that. And so who's going to set a lap? Because it looks like there must be a few coming around setting laps now as Falchero comes out onto his out lap. But no one's really doing much. Look how slow everyone's going. This is going to be a disaster. As PK is setting a lap, but painfully slowly as the rain's coming back down. It looks like the rain's going to ease off a little bit and the sun's going to come out in that final few minutes. So it's going to be very, very similar to Guildford in that regard. As PK is going to be setting the fastest lap. Let's see what Falchero can do. So look how slow PK's going on the softs, and Falchero's flying up behind him. And there you go. So Falchero's on his flying lap now. So we'll zoom right in on him so we can see where he's going. And we'll see what he can do. So everyone's gone out on softs, has set a lap. So the fastest is a 1:16. So Falchero should be able to beat that, but he's struggling a little bit because it's just so wet out there. So I don't think he's going to be setting much of a lap time either, as the sun's just starting to pop through. So Falchero is, what's that, 1/10 off. He's up, but it's not going to be the fastest lap. As you can see, Tveta there, he's got 2 purple sectors, and he's crossed the line with a 1:12.8. So Falchero is not going to be setting pole provisionally just yet, as he's up into 3rd place. So he's ahead of Daravala and Mardenborough, which is quite good there. So here you go. The rain's starting to dissipate a little bit. The track's starting to grip in. So I think we send Mawson out now on the soft tyres. Or do we leave it a little while? How long have we got? We've got 3 minutes 25. I think we've stuffed Falchero's strategy up. This is going to be painful. We don't want to leave it a little bit later. Because what we want is we want Mawson to obviously get around on his outlap and then get across the start-finish line just as the session ends, so he can set his flying lap right at the death. Look how slow Falchero is going now. This is not good. As I'm worrying about Falchero getting out to set another lap. But what we'll do is we might send Mawson out now, let's say. Let's send Mawson out now, because the track's starting to grip up. This will be the perfect time. So we'll send him out on the softs. And this will be his only lap. And we'll send Falchero out right behind him, basically. Because we want to make sure they get across that start-finish line. And it's going to be a bit of a race. Look at all the cars coming out. As there's someone in front of Mawson there. I can't see who that is that's in front of him. As it looks like... Is that Tveta, maybe? Yeah, it is. There you go. It's Tveta in 5th. So if we can keep up with Tveta, then will be doing well because Tovetto set a time on softs as well, and he was very similar to Mawson if you remember in the race. And they're going to be tripping over one another here, which is not what I want to see, unfortunately. Come on, Mawson. So Mawson set good tyre temperatures, but he overheated his brakes, and Falchero was exactly the same. So here we go. So this is the lap. So Gunther's gone fastest in the first sector, and he's going to be the man to beat. He's gone second. In the second sector, he's gone fastest yet again. So he's going to be setting the time to beat by the looks of things, and there's still 40-odd seconds to go in the session as Mawson comes down that long back straight. Gunther's set the fastest time with a 102.4 to beat, so that's going to be interesting to see. What can they do? Mawson set a good first sector, good second sector. Falchero's gone quickest in the first sector, though. Second sector, he wasn't as quick. As Mawson's going to be coming across, where can Mawson go? As he crosses the line, Mawson moves into fifth as we'll jump right back as Falchero crosses the line now. He goes second fastest. There's still three. There's still Jensen, Ticktum, and Palau still going. Let's see. Here's Palau. Palau's leading the way. He's 3/10 down, though, so I don't think he's going to do very much. No, he doesn't. He moves into 8th. Ticktum goes across into 14th. He did actually cross in 13th and then drop down. And that's the in-lap. So Falchero, yet again, sets a blistering time to move second. I was not expecting a second place. Mawson did improve. He qualified 9th in the last race, and he's up to 7th. So that's an improvement for Mawson. But Falchero with second place, I am thrilled to bits with that one. And yet again, Norris. Keep an eye on Norris. Norris did the exact same thing that he did in Guildford. He must be burning because his team has just shafted him yet again. He didn't get to set a time on the softs. That's going to be costly. So we'll have to wait and see for tomorrow for the race. But as you can see now, Gunther sets pole with a 102.4. He came third in the Guildford GP. Then you've got Falchero at Koiranen GP with another blistering time. I'm really impressed with him. And then you got Mardenborough, followed by Tveta Hyman, who, remember, he crashed out in Guildford. He's 5th fastest. Joel Eriksson with 6th. He was another one in Guildford who didn't set a time on the softs and was stuck on intermediates and was right at the back of the pack. And he came up and I think he finished 6th, 5th, 6th, something like that. So I expect him to move. Then you got Joey Mawson in 7th. That'll be interesting to see how he performs. Followed by Jensen, Palau, Sasahara, Ralph Aaron, Marino Sato, Makino for High Tech. Then you've got Ticktum, Norris, Daravala, PK for Van Amersfoort, who are leading the championship at the moment. So he's right down. That's something to keep an eye on, along with Newey at the back of the grid. And then you've got in between them, you've got Alexander Sims. Mick Schumacher for Prima. I'm actually very surprised about them because they were only on the soft. So I'm wondering if they didn't come out, because look at their times there. They're 116, 117, 118. I'm wondering if they went out on the softs at the beginning of the session and then subsequently didn't go out again for whatever reason. I don't know. Maybe they were trying to save tyres. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But keep an eye on Mick Schumacher especially. And, yeah, fingers crossed for another good result, eh? So if you enjoyed that video, folks, make sure you pop a big thumbs up on there for me. And don't forget to tune in tomorrow to see if we can get another race win with Julien Falchero on 2nd on the grid. That's really, really cool. And I'll see you tomorrow for the Milan GP. That's hopefully not a rain-soaked event. See you later.